Comic Book Ruminations presents a look back at sales figures and romantic themes from the Daredevil Black Widow team up.
Daredevil and Black Widow fight villains and bittersweet feelings. Written by Anthony M. Caro. Originally published in essay form on comicbookhistorians.com on March 18, 2024. Why did Daredevil team with Black Widow in the early 1970s? Here's a simple answer: to fight crime and increase sales. Whether the sales figures hit what Marvel's number crunchers wanted is lost to history. No matter, since the historical lens reveals that the Daredevil/Black Widow team-up in the 1970s was a creative triumph. The team-up lasted from Daredevil number 81 to number 124, and the commencement of the superheroic and romantic soulmate duo is worth revisiting. The Gary Friedrich created Blofeld-esque villain Mr. Klein, aka the Assassin, serves as a reliable linchpin for a direction-changing story arc. Daredevil, the hero and the monthly comic book, needed a change in direction, one Black Widow helped provide. Marvel sales and Daredevil's lament. Marvel Comics and revisionist history seem inseparable. A commonly spun version of events suggests that immediately after Marvel debuted the Fantastic Four and Spider-Man in their respective books, the House of Ideas lit the industry in a fireball and captured the market. In reality, Marvel Comics' climb was far slower. Marvel achieved great success by the late 1960s, but the 1970s would turn rocky. Equally revisionist is the notion that certain books didn't do as well as they did. Suggestions that Daredevil hung on the lower rung of sales and only gained a strong following until the legendary Frank Miller run prove inaccurate. In 1968, Daredevil cracked the top 40 of industry-wide comic book sales, reaching number 23 on the charts, becoming Marvel Comics' fourth best-selling title. By 1969, Hornhead's monthly book averaged 245,000 sales, an impressive number, but still 100,000 less than Archie and Me. In 1973, Daredevil dropped to Marvel's 11th best-selling title, with 168,000 issues on average per month, not a great number, but not so low that the figures couldn't be turned around. Overall, Marvel's sales from 1973 looked concerning, as they were somewhat anemic and appeared to be trending downward. Please see the references at the end of the essay published on Comic Book Historians for more information about Marvel's sales numbers. In late 1971, Marvel chose to tap into the team-up approach similar to Captain America forming a duo with the Falcon, likely feeling Daredevil could maintain or, hopefully, increase sales by turning the book into a team-up series. Black Widow enjoyed a run in the Amazing Adventures anthology. Appearances in 8 issues didn't instill enough confidence to give the character a monthly solo title, but feedback was apparently positive enough to believe Black Widow could help reinvigorate Daredevil. The team-up revitalized and reinvented Daredevil while keeping true to the established character and allowing Daredevil and Matt Murdock to evolve. Daredevil no longer swings alone. The Marvel Comics of the late 1960s and early 1970s sometimes dipped into experimentation while remaining true to essential elements of comic book storytelling. Writer Gerry Conway and artist Gene Colan's take on Daredevil pushed the experimental approach further by creating a mix of traditional hero versus villain action, soap operatic storytelling, and trippy artwork. Reading a Daredevil comic from the era isn't like being a first-person reader. Instead, the experience feels like hearing a third party incredulously relaying what they saw, with the soap operatic dialogue and neo-dreamscape art suggesting a witness trying to make sense of what they don't believe they witnessed. The approach worked well with the underlying social changes of the early 1970s in the backdrop. Black Widow, a feminist hero, effectively guided Daredevil in a new direction. Black Widow symbolically and literally saves the titular hero in Daredevil number 81, November 1971, which features the misleading title "And Death is a Woman Called Widow." The title is obtusely ironic since Black Widow saves the hero from drowning and breathes new life into the title by helping the comic find new footing. The women's empowerment subtext has company in the storytelling, but the secondary subtext isn't concerned with liberation. The strong, independent Black Widow also plays to male readers' fantasies of a female paramour who shares traits with a male hero they idolize. Daredevil and other Marvel heroes of the era connected with readers because they possessed enviable superpowers and suffered from human problems readers understood. Like other Marvel heroes, Daredevil has superpowers that are far more attainable in real life. He's a pugilistic, athletic acrobat in tune with his natural senses, skills, and traits that a motivated human could mimic with a physical fitness routine. While his powers are highly exaggerated in true comic book form, attainable versions exist in the real world. Black Widow has skills similar to Daredevil but does not have the fantasy radar sense power, which makes her a more realistic hero, one with abilities more attainable in actual life. Such a hero is well suited for Daredevil readers since she complements him. Black Widow also has hang-ups, but she handles them better than Daredevil, giving her a level-headed quality that exceeds her partner, one of the most level-headed superheroes in Marvel Comics. She's the girlfriend the older male readers clamored for, an exaggerated depiction of an idealized paramour. While that might not fit into the liberation element, it is a description not far removed from how some, then, readers saw her since the book was borrowing elements from romance comics. Weaving heavy romance themes into a superhero book will turn the title into a part romance monthly. Daredevil gets a lifeline. Issue number 81 begins after the previous cliffhanger left Daredevil unconscious at the bottom of New York Harbor. Arch-nemesis the Owl may have finally defeated the hero, as Daredevil can do nothing to save himself. Black Widow knows he's in trouble and dives into the water to save him. Daredevil later returns the favor by aiding Black Widow during a confrontation with the Owl. However, Daredevil collapses after the battle, revealing Black Widow to be the more resilient hero in the issue. The story progresses slowly, with Black Widow playing a prominent role in saving Daredevil at the beginning and returning to help him dispatch the villain at the end. The slower progression is atypical for comic books of the time, although the pacing makes sense since the title is now shifting to a team-up series that will play out over several years. What is not atypical is the merry Marvel melodrama that hangs like a weepy cloud over the proceedings. Black Widow saves Daredevil but doesn't understand why he runs away without noticing her once he revives from his time at the bottom of the Hudson River. Black Widow surmises Daredevil must be ashamed to owe his life to a woman. Pop culture forever remains linked to the time of its creation. Comic books can't swing their way out of that fact. Daredevil number 81 hit spinner racks during the days of the emerging feminist movement, a movement that would alter women's places in American society tremendously. In 1971, Black Widow found herself in a patriarchal fictional world that catered to a virtually all-male audience. Positioning her as a savior to Daredevil helped set her apart from the submissive sidekick role that generally fails to spark reader loyalty to a character. Still, Black Widow doesn't know what's inside Daredevil's troubled head, and the hero's concerns about the Owl's attempts to do away with him, again, seem secondary to unsoothed feelings toward paramour Karen Page. In the mighty Marvel soap opera tradition, Karen thinks Matt Murdock/Daredevil drowned at the bottom of the Hudson River. Hence, she runs into the arms of another while Black Widow vows to keep Daredevil at arm's length, fearing he'll end up like other men dying from bad luck derived from the Widow's curse. The mix of bringing back a classic villain, establishing a new nemesis, giving the hero a new partner and new internal conflicts, and playing off of topical cultural and sociological themes allows Daredevil number 81 to brilliantly establish the slow burn of a new direction with helpful intrigue. Where are these events headed? You have to keep reading to find out.